You meet someone new and think, finally, someone different. But 6 months later, you're having the exact same arguments, facing the same disappointments, feeling that familiar ache of being misunderstood or taken for granted. Different face, different story, same ending. You start to wonder if you're cursed, if good people simply don't exist, or if there's something fundamentally wrong with you that attracts the wrong type of person over and over again. The truth is both more complex and more hopeful than you might expect. You're not cursed, and there's nothing fundamentally broken about you. What's happening operates at a level deeper than conscious choice, in the realm of unconscious patterns, learned behaviors, and psychological comfort zones that were formed long before you understood how they would shape your adult relationships. Carl Jung spoke of the unconscious as having its own intelligence, its own agenda that doesn't always align with what we consciously want. When you keep attracting the same type of person, your unconscious might be trying to resolve something, to heal an old wound, or to master a dynamic that once left you feeling powerless. The familiar, even when it hurts, feels safer to the unconscious mind than the unknown. Consider this: the people you attract aren't random. They're responding to signals you're sending out, most of which operate below the level of conscious awareness. These signals include your body language, your boundaries, your expectations, the stories you tell about yourself, and the energy you carry from past experiences. If you learned early that love comes with conditions, chaos, or emotional unavailability, you might unconsciously seek those same dynamics because they feel like home. This doesn't mean you're choosing badly or that you lack judgment. It means you're human, operating with a nervous system and unconscious. Patterns that were designed to keep you safe based on early experiences. If chaos felt normal, calm might feel boring or suspicious. If you had to earn love through performance, someone who loves you unconditionally might feel untrustworthy or temporary. The pattern often begins with what psychologists call repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to recreate familiar situations, even painful ones, in an attempt to master them or achieve a different outcome. Your psyche keeps casting the same type of person in your life story because it's trying to rewrite the ending, to finally get the love, validation, or security that was missing the first time around. But here's what makes this particularly tricky. You might think you're choosing differently because the surface details change. This person has a different job, different interests, maybe even seems kinder or more stable initially. But underneath, the core dynamic remains the same. The emotionally unavailable person who keeps you guessing, the one who needs rescuing, the one who criticizes you in ways that echo old wounds, the one who promises change but never delivers. Your nervous system recognizes these patterns faster than your conscious mind does. There's a familiar tension, a particular type of anxiety or excitement that feels like chemistry, but is actually recognition. Your body remembers this dance, even when your mind hasn't caught up to what's happening. Breaking these patterns requires developing what I call pattern consciousness. This means becoming aware of the subtle ways you might be unconsciously advertising for the same type of person. Are you telling stories about your past that paint you as a victim or a rescuer? Are you accepting behaviors early on that you hope will change later? Are you drawn to potential rather than reality, to who someone could be rather than who they consistently show themselves to be? Pattern consciousness also means examining your internal relationship with yourself. The relationship you have with yourself sets the template for every other relationship in your life. If you're harsh with yourself, you'll attract people who are harsh with you, or you'll accept harshness as normal. If you don't trust your own instincts, you'll attract people who undermine your judgment. If you don't believe you deserve consistency, you'll find inconsistent people compelling. One of the most profound shifts happens when you stop trying to heal others and start focusing on healing the parts of yourself that find dysfunction attractive. This isn't about becoming selfish, it's about becoming whole. When you develop a secure relationship with yourself, you naturally become less attracted to insecure dynamics with others. This process requires patience because your unconscious patterns didn't form overnight, and they won't change overnight. You might find yourself initially bored by healthier people, mistaking drama for passion or stability for lack of chemistry. This is normal. Your system is recalibrating, learning to recognize health as attractive rather than just familiar. Start paying attention to the very early interactions with new people. What draws you in? Is it their consistency and reliability? Or is it the thrill of uncertainty? Is it how they make you feel about yourself? Or is it the challenge of winning them over? Notice without judgment, just with curiosity about the patterns that have been running unconsciously. The people you attract will begin to change as you change, but it's a gradual process. As you develop stronger boundaries, clearer self-awareness, and a more secure relationship with yourself, you'll start sending out different signals. You'll find yourself naturally less interested in people who operate from insecurity, manipulation, or emotional unavailability, not because you're forcing it, but because it genuinely becomes less appealing. Remember, changing these patterns isn't about perfecting yourself or becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming more authentically who you are beneath the layers of adaptive behaviors and protective patterns. The right people for your life will be attracted to your authenticity, not to your willingness to shrink or perform or rescue. You have the power to break these cycles, not through force or willpower alone, but through gentle, consistent awareness and the courage to choose differently when the familiar pattern presents itself again. Trust that as you heal, you'll naturally attract people who are also committed to health and growth. If this resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, awareness is always the first step toward freedom. And if this spoke to a part of you that rarely gets heard, stay with that feeling for a moment. You are not broken because you feel deeply. You are only beginning to understand yourself. Subscribe to Inside the Labyrinth for more reflections on the hidden patterns of the human mind.